Morning to all. I am Lakshman Singh Bhanoth, lecturer in physics, working at Government Polytechnic, Medchal. Yeah, in previous class, we have been discussed about the properties of matter. In this properties of matter, we have discussed deformation and deforming force, definition of elasticity, and definition of inelasticity like plasticity, and definition of a stress and strain. So first of all, what is deformation means? It is deformation. It is say to be a changes in uh, structure and size of a body. So the changes may occur when a body is undergoes to be physically changes. The changes may occur in structure and size and shape of a body is called deformation. The deformation B occurs due to the application of a force. That force is called a deforming force. So the deforming force is causes to changes in structure and size of a body is called deforming force. And every rigid body or every solid body is going to be a deforming state, that is a more or less deforming states. So means there is no perfect rigid bodies in our nature, but some of the body is approaches to the property of a rigidness, like diamond and carbon metals can be approaches the property of a rigidness. So basically what is the rigid means, when you apply by application of a deforming force, then the body of size and structure is unchanged. Unchanged means not go to be a deforming state. This phenomenon is called a rigidness. These bodies are called rigid bodies. So but some of the bodies can be regain their original condition from deforming position after removal of a deforming force. This property is called elasticity. Elasticity is the property of a body which it is defined by virtue of, it is a property of a elasticity is the property of a body by virtue of which it is regain their original condition after removal of a deforming force is called elasticity. Like examples are rubber and spring and wet clay, wet dust. These are the example for, and chewing gum also example for elasticity. And the inelasticity is also called plasticity. It is also property of a rigid body and a property of a solid body by virtue of which it is remains their changed position even though after removal of a or withdrawn a deforming force is called inelasticity or plasticity. Examples are wet clay and wax and plastic materials. These properties are called plasticity. And also we have defined restoring force. Why does the body is regain their original position after removal of a deforming force means some of the force can be stored inside the body. That body is bring into their original condition is called a restoring force. The restoring force is sometimes is same as a deforming force or equal to a deforming force. And the force acted per unit area, the force is acted per unit area is called a stress. So this is the force either be a restoring force or deforming force or simply a force. The force is acted per unit cross sectional area of a body is called a stress. The stress of unit is newton per meter square in SI system. In CGS system, it is Dine per centimeter square and pound per foot square. It is a unit of a stress. And also by application of a stress, due to the application of a force on a particular area per unit area or unit cross section area of a body, the strain B produces. That strain is also one physical quantity. It is a dimensionless, unitless physical quantity. This quantity is defined as it is the change in position, means a change in dimension of a body into the original dimension or in unit dimension is called strain. On completion of this period, we are able to understand Hooke's law and type of stress and modulus of elasticity. Modulus of elasticity. So generally, Hooke's law is states that Hooke's law is states that within the elastic limit. For example, consider a one rubber string. The rubber string is pulled is expanded due to the application of a force, deforming force. Means by application of a small force, the rubber string is goes to be expansive, expansive through some length, and by if the deforming force is increases gradually, the length of the spring is also increases gradually through certain limit. After extension of a limit of a after tensional force is negligible with respect to the deforming force, with the deforming force, then the rubber string is breakdown. So without a break, the breakdown is a limiting point, means within the limit. Within the limit means we say here within the elastic limit. So within the elastic limit or simply within the proportionality limit. So it's easy to say here within the elastic limit. So within the elastic limit, the applied stress is directly proportional to the producing strain. Is directly proportional to the producing strain is called Hooke's law. Hooke's can be states that the applied stress or then the force is acted per unit area is called a stress. When we have to apply a force per some cross sectional area, is automatically develop a stress inside the body. That developed stress is directly proportional to the producing strain in a body is called Hooke's law. Means within the elastic limit, the stress is directly proportional to the strain is also called Hooke's law. Here Hooke's observed that stress is directly proportional to the strain. Stress is directly proportional to the strain. See here, here stress is directly proportional to the strain. Stress is directly proportional to the strain, and stress is it is a proportional symbol. We can avoid the proportional symbol here. Then we have to mention a one proportionality constant. This proportionality constant is E. E is called modulus of elasticity. So stress is equal to E into strain. E is called proportionality constant. E is called proportionality constant, and here E is a modulus of elasticity. Modulus of elasticity capital E is equal to stress divided by strain. Stress divided by strain. Here stress divided by strain. So E is called modulus of elasticity or coefficient of elasticity. Simply said that coefficient of elasticity of the material of a body is called stress. And if the strain is 1, then stress is equal to modulus of elasticity. So the producing strain, so by application of a stress, the producing strain is unit producing strain. Then unit means the stress strain value is becomes to 1, then the modulus of elasticity E is equal to stress. E is equal to stress. So within the proportionality limit, the modulus of stress is developed to produce unit strain is defined as modulus of elasticity or coefficient of elasticity of the material of a body. Then E is a scalar quantity. Modulus of elasticity is a scalar quantity, and SI unit of a modulus of, generally the unit of a modulus of elasticity is defined as E. The modulus of elasticity is written in terms of a CGS system, FPS system, and a MKS system. That is generally E is the modulus of elasticity is equal to stress by strain, and stress is equal to force by area. That of unit is meter per second square, all divided by strain. Strain is a dimensionless, unitless physical quantity because of it is the ratio of a to same physical quantity, like change in dimension into the original dimension. That's why the model strain is does not existed units and dimension. It has only the unit. In this modulus of elasticity of unit is the same as a stress of a unit and a dimension. That is the unit, the CGS unit of a modulus of elasticity, that is dyne per centimeter square, and FPS unit of a modulus of elasticity is pound per foot square, and MKS and CGS unit of a modulus of elasticity is Newton per meter square, or simply measured in terms of a Pascal. Simply measured in terms of a Pascal. So the dimensional formula of a modulus of elasticity is the same as a stress of a dimensional formula, that is m1 l minus 1 t minus 2. It is the dimensional formula of a modulus of elasticity, modulus of elasticity. And the modulus of elasticity is depends on nature of the material, like nature of a body, nature of the material of a body, and annealing, rolling, hammering, and temperature. And also it is depend on impurities. Impurity also causes to the influence the value of a modulus of elasticity, and stress is divided into three terms. Like already I say that when the application of a stress and depend on to the surface of a body, surfaces of a body. If the stress, applied stress, is parallel to the surface area, parallel to the surface area, is called a tangential stress or parallel stress, and also called shearing stress, if the stress is applies or acted on unit surface area perpendicular to the surface, so the stress is acted per unit area perpendicular to the surface, then that stress is called normal stress. Normal stress are two types. One is the longitudinal stress and volume stress. Here the normal stress is causes to changes in size of a body, but the tangential and parallel stress is causes to changes in structure of a body or shape of a body. Only the normal stress is causes to changes in sizes. For example, normal stress are two types. One is the longitudinal stress, another is the volume stress or bulk stress. So longitudinal stress is defined as, generally here stress is divided into three types as follows. One is the longitudinal stress and volume or bulk stress. These two stress are called These two stress are called normal stress. Normal stress, and this stress is called a shearing stress. Shearing stress. So normal stress and shearing stress. So longitudinal stress and volume stress are bulk stress belonging to the normal stress. So the longitudinal stress and bulk stress or volume stress belong to normal stress category, but tangential stress can be attributed to the tangential stress, and it is also called shearing stress, is also called shearing stress. Okay, now now generally, if the normal stress developed inside a body changes to the length of the body, the stress is called longitudinal stress. So the force is acted per unit area perpendicular to the surface of a body is called normal stress. This normal stress developed inside a body changes the length of the body, means the stress which it is changes in length of a body is called longitudinal stress, is called longitudinal stress. If a body in the form of a wire is stretched to increases its length by two equal and opposite forces act its its end at both ends, at its both ends, then the longitudinal stress is called tensile. Means here the stress which it is causes to changes in length of a body is called a longitudinal stress. Carefully listen here. Carefully listen. If a body in the form of a wire, so just consider a one wire is stretched to increases its length by two equal and opposite forces at ends, then then what happens automatically, the length of the body is increases. This stress is called tensile stress. The tensile stress is causes to changes in only increases in length of a body is called tensile stress, is called tensile stress. And so here the stress which it is causes to increases in length of a body is called tensile stress. Here the normal stress are two types. One is the longitudinal stress and volume stress or bulk stress. But in longitudinal stress, the longitudinal stress means the stress which it is causes to changes in length of a body. Here changes in length are two types. One is the increases in length and another is the decreases in length. So increases in length of a body means the length of a wire is expanded. So expand means the length is gradually increases by application of a longitudinal stress at a two end of a body. That kind of stress are called tensile stress. So tensile stress is causes to increases in length of a body, but diameter of the body is decreases. Diameter of the body is decreases. As the same way, if a body in the form of a wire is compressed by two equal and opposite forces and to decreases its length, then the longitudinal stress of a body is experiences is called a compressive stress. Compressive stress means it is the stress is causes to decreases in length of a body, means as a if the length is increases, then the diameter decreases. If he in this compressive stress, the length of the body is decreases. As a result, the diameter of the body is increases at that rate. So generally, just we have to consider now we have derive the expression for longitudinal stress. Longitudinal stress means it is also force by area, means which kind of force and which kind of area we have now defined. Here, just we consider a wire. Generally, force by area is called a stress. Force by unit cross sectional area is called a longitudinal stress. Force by area is called a volume stress or bulk stress. Now here, just we have to consider a wire or a rod of length small l initially, and radius is r, and radius of a cross section is r, is perpended perpended not, it is suspended. It is suspended from a rigid support here. It is suspended from a rigid support. Now see here, consider a wire or rod of length L and radius of a body or length rod or wire is R, is suspended from a rigid support, this point, from a rigid support A, from a rigid support A, and just we have to attach a small load of mass m at another end of a body, then automatically what happens means, the length of the wire is increases through L2, the initial length is L1, and the length of the rod is increased by final length minus initial length, is called a expansive, here expansive E is equal to L2 minus L1, then according to the definition of a longitudinal stress, so the longitudinal stress means deforming force by cross sectional area, unit cross section area of a wire, that is force, deforming force is a force and cross sectional area is a, but the deforming force is only to uh, attach a load, the load is acted as a force, same as a force, that load of weight is considered as a deforming force, that is load of weight is equal to mg. That's why the deforming force is equal to weight of the load which it is attached at another end of a wire is mg. Then the cross sectional area of a wire is equal to pi r square, then the formula for the longitudinal stress, that is equal to longitudinal stress is equal to mg by pi r square, or force by area. And if the normal stress developed inside a body is causes to changes in volume of the body, then the normal stress is known as a volume stress or bulk stress. It is denoted with V, P, pressure. It is same as a pressure, means the normal stress developed inside a body is causes to changes in volume of a body, then this normal stress is called volume stress as bulk stress. So just we have to consider, suppose a ball is immersed in a liquid in a container, then the ball is experiences a normal forces all over its surface. The force acting on the given small unit cross sectional area is directly proportional to the area, See here, I am explaining now. Just listen. Just consider a ball. It is a ball. This ball, just we have to draw a one tangent at all side of the ball. All side of the ball. Then what happens means the force is acted per unit area is called a normal stress. So the number of normal stress are acted on a body or acted on a body. That force per unit area is causes to compress the body. Compress the body means the force by area is a one physical quantity is called a normal stress. The normal stress is causes to changes in length, changes in size of a body. Which kind of changes be occurs means here the changes is in terms of a volume. Hence the physical quantity it means here which here the normal stress is volume stress. That volume stress is also called bulk stress. If the bulk stress value is increases gradually, as a result the volume of the body is decreases gradually. That's why the physical quantity which it is causes to changes in volume of a body is called a pressure is generally. So according to the Boyle's law, at constant temperature the pressure is inversely proportional to the volume. Pressure is inversely proportional to the volume. That is called a pressure. Means here the physical quantity which it is it causes to changes in volume is called a pressure. That's why the here bulk stress or volume stress is also called pressure, is also called pressure. That's why here suppose a ball is immersed in a liquid in a container, then the ball is experience a small force all over its surface. Then the force is acting on given small area is directly proportional to that of area. That's why force is directly proportional to the A, and F by A is a constant. F by A is called pressure, is denoted by P. That's why bulk stress or volume stress or pressure is equal to force by area, is equal to force by area. And bulk stress is denoted with a P. P is a pressure. Pressure and volume stress or bulk stress are both are same. So it is the another type of stress. So generally normal stress or longitudinal stress and volume stress are completed. Now we have to explain another type of stress that is also called a longitudinal stress or tangential stress, sorry, tangential stress or parallel stress, and also called shearing stress. So if the stress is tangential to the surface due to application of a force parallel to the surface area, then the stress is known as a tangential stress. For example, generally here the force is acted per unit area parallel to the surface, means here parallel to the surface. The stress is tangential to the surface due to the application of force is parallel to the surface area, parallel to the surface. So here the application of forces are parallel to the surface area is called a tangential stress. This tangential stress is causes to changes in structure of a body, only changes in structure of a body. For example, just consider a body of a rigid surface, a surface, rigid surface. A tangential force F is applied on the top of the surface, keeping its bottom of the surface is fixed. And generally, I am saying that here consider a generally it is a rectangular body. It is a rectangular body. Rectangular body, not, it is a one of the square. A B C D, A B C D is a one of the square. See here, A B B C D is a square. Now a tangential force is acted on upper surface of a body. Consider a square object of ABCD. Then AB, the lower surface, is fixed on the rigid support, and CD on upper. So here AB is the lower surface of a body, CD is the upper surface of a body. On upper surface like CD, at the surface CD, we have to apply a force per unit area, and parallel to the surface is called a tangential stress. The tangential stress is parallel to the surface, means what happens means here, AB surface of the body, lower surface of the body is fixed on the rigid support, and CD, at CD we have to apply, and CD is the upper surface of a body. At CD we have to apply the tangential stress parallel to the surface. Then automatically the point C is gets displaced to C dash, and point D is gets displaced to D dash, means ABCD square is becomes to, before application of a tangential stress, the body of structure is ABCD as a square. After tangential stress is applied on upper surface of a body, the point C and D gets displaced to the C dash and D dash. As a result, ABCD square is becomes to the ABC dash D dash as a parallelogram. As a parallelogram means the tangential stress or parallel stress, or simply say that it is a shearing stress, is causes to changes in structure of a body. This tangential stress is defined as the tangential force per unit surface area parallel to the surface is called tangential stress, that is force by area. Force by area. So all kind of stress carry same units and same dimensions. Longitudinal stress and volume stress or bulk stress produces changes in length and volume respectively, but the tangential stress causes to changes in shape. So that here longitudinal stress and volume stress or bulk stress are the category of a normal stress. Means a normal stress is causes to changes in size of a body. Changes in size of a body means either be increases in size or decreases in size. But the tangential stress, that is the parallel stress, is causes to changes in structure or shape of a body, is called is called is called type of stress. These are the type of stress. So in this class we have learned Hooke's law kind of stress, means type of stress. Hooke's law means the applied stress is directly proportional to the producing strain within the elastic limit, or simply within the proportionality limit. Here proportional means stress is directly proportional to the strain. So stress is proportional to the strain, and by removing strain proportional symbol, we have to mention one constant, that is a proportionality constant. That's why stress is equal to capital E into strain. Here capital E is called coefficient of a elasticity or modulus of elasticity. So the coefficient of elasticity or modulus of elasticity capital E is equal to stress divided by strain. So it is the ratio of a producing strain, sorry, applying strain divided by producing modulus of elasticity capital E is defined as it is a ratio of applied stress into the producing strain. So the applied stress divided by producing strain. But strain is a dimensionless, unitless physical quantity. That's why the SI unit of and dimensional formula of a modulus of elasticity is the same as a stress of units and dimensions of units and dimensions. And in this and type of stress are three types, generally two types. One is the normal stress and parallel stress or tangential stress. So normal stress are two types. One is the longitudinal stress and volume stress. In longitudinal stress there are two types. One is the tensile stress and compressive stress. Tensile stress is causes to increases in length of a body. Compressive stress is causes to decreases in length of a body, and volume stress is causes to changes volume of a body, and it is same as a pressure. It is same as a pressure. And longitudinal stress and bulk stress or volume stress are causes to changes in length and volume of a body. Means normal stress is causes to changes in size of a body, but only the tangential or longitudinal stress, sorry, parallel stress is causes to changes in structure of a body. In this example we have to discuss it here. ABCD square is becomes to ABC dash D dash parallelogram after application of a longitudinal or parallel stress. Now Hooks states that the stress is, what says the stress, Hooks law? Stress is proportional to the strain. As stress is equal proportional to 1 by strain means it is not inversely proportional. It is a directly proportional. That's why here B option is a correct option. B is the option is a correct option. And longitudinal stress is given by, what is the longitudinal stress? Deforming force by unit cross sectional area or cross sectional area of a body. Means C is the option is a correct option. And volume or bulk stress is given by pressure, because of volume stress or bulk stress is causes to changes in volume. The physical quantity which it is inversely proportional to the pressure, inversely proportional to the volume, is called a pressure. Okay. And the tangential stress hold the formula for means tangential force by surface area. So A is the option is the correct option. Okay. Now today we have to explain another term. I am saying that here. See here, I am explaining now. So the maximum stress up to the body exhibit the property of elasticity is called elasticity. What is the elastic limit? Generally, I am saying here in the definition of a Hooke's law. In the definition of a Hooke's law, we are saying that within the elastic limit. So within the proportionality limit. So what is the meaning of elastic limit? Means the maximum stress up to which the body is exhibit the strain is called elastic limit. If the applied force is exceed the maximum stress limit, the body does not regain or remain their original position completely after the external force is removed. Means by application of a deforming force, the body is undergoes to be deformation. After when we have to remove the deforming force, the body is regain their original property is called a elasticity means we have to apply a deforming force more and more exceed the limit of a elasticity, then automatically the body does not regain their original position, means it can be lost their elastic property, it can be lost their elastic property, means the limit of a stress at which the property of the elasticity is loss, the property is loss is called a elastic limit, means the maximum stress up to which the body exhibit the property of a elasticity is called elastic limit. If the applied force is exceeds the maximum stress limit, the body does not regain their original position completely after the external or deforming force is removed is called a elastic limit, is called a elastic limit. And within the elastic limit, the applied stress is directly proportional to the producing strain is called Hooke's law. Hooke's law states that stress is proportional to the strain within the elastic limit. So this law is the basic law of elasticity. It was it was announced by this rule Robert Hooke of England in 1678. According to the Hooke's law, within the elastic limit, the applied stress is proportional to the strain, or stress by strain is equal to constant. This constant is called a capital E. This capital E is also called modulus of elasticity and coefficient of a modulus of coefficient of a modulus of elasticity. And the modulus of elasticity is defined as and the modulus of elasticity is defined as and the modulus of elasticity is also defined as Hooke's law hold for good for all three type of strains, but for different type of strains, the modulus has different value and is a difficulty named different named. They are number one is Young's modulus, bulk modulus, and rigidity modulus. So depend on three type of producing applied stress. There three type of strain be produces, and also we have to define the three type of modulus of elasticities. One is the Young modulus, bulk modulus, and rigidity modulus. Generally, due to the longitudinal stress, the longitudinal strain be produces. Due to the volume strain stress, the volume strain be produces. Due to the shearing stress or tangential stress, the tangential or shearing strain be produces. As a result, depend on the three type of applied stress, three type of strain be produces. As a result, three type of modulus of elasticity or coefficient of elasticity is defined. These three type of coefficient of elasticities are number one Young modulus, bulk modulus, or rigidity modulus. These three modulus of elasticity we have to explain in next class. Thank you one and all.